What's up, fight fans? My name is Anik Subramanian, and I am the face of INNERG TV. On March 15th at the UFC Apex, Kurt the Hurt Holobaugh takes on Alexander Hernandez in a lightweight fight. Today, I'm joined by the Ultimate Fighter Season 31 winner and the pride of Louisiana, Kurt Holobaugh. Kurt, first of all, how's life been?
Oh yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. Life's been great. Life's always fun when you're a professional UFC fighter.
That's awesome, man. Now, you take on Alexander Hernandez at UFC Vegas 104. What's training camp been like, and how are you preparing for a fellow UFC veteran?
So yeah, man. Training camp's been really fun. I've been having a lot of fun this training camp, and honestly, I don't even call it a training camp, right? Because I never stopped training. This is just training for another fight, and I've had a lot of fun training for this fight. Um, Bounced around a little bit, trained with a lot of my good friends. Kind of got back to my older ways, training with some different guys. Some guys I used to train with a lot back in the day, and just kind of went around, got some training in with all them. Of course, all of my teammates here at my gym. But it's been fun. It's been great, and been having a good time.
And besides your teammates, right? Have you did you end up going to Kill Cliff to train for this fight?
No, I didn't. I haven't really been out to Kill Cliff since I fought Trey Ogden. I wasn't able to make it out there for my last fight. I just got a lot that goes on in life, man. I run two gyms. I have a lot of students, a lot of fighters that I coach and help out here on the local circuit. Of course, training and doing everything for myself. So sometimes it's kind of hard to get away, but I've been very balanced here, and I feel like I've had a lot of good training partners that help me out. And I feel like I always have really good training camps whenever I train this way.
I understand, man. Now, you're going to be fighting at the Apex, right? After your last win, you said that a lot of people complain about the Apex, but you were grateful that your family had a front row seat to watch you compete. Do you prefer fighting at the Apex because of that?
In a way, maybe so, because I'm not ever gonna. Well, I'm not saying I'm not ever, but at this stage that I'm at right now in the UFC, my family won't be like front row. You know what I'm saying? There won't be in the front row being able to, so I could hear them what's going on. So that's kind of the difference, and I really like that about the Apex. It's a smaller place. Yeah, you still get a good bit of people in there time to time, but I can have my family and they're basically front row. I can hear my wife, I can hear my kids just as well as I can hear my corner man. So I kind of like that. That's very fun for me. Of course, everybody likes to fight in the big events, right? We like to fight at the big sold out arenas. So eventually we'll get back to that. But I don't really mind fighting the Apex.
I understand. That makes a lot of sense. Now, Alexander Hernandez, he can be a character at sometimes. He's a UFC veteran. He has some huge wins. What's your prediction with your fight with him?
Man, I'm just going to go out there and give it what I got. Of course, I want to win this fight by any means necessary. I'm coming at him. I'm going to do what I do every single fight. If it works, great. If I fail for some reason, oh well. I wake up, get to go back to my family, and do this all over again for the next fight. So, but with that being said, I would love nothing more to get a win, and I'm going to do everything in my power to do that.
I look forward to watching that fight, my man. Now, you proudly represent Louisiana. Do you get extra hyped when guys like Dustin Poirier and Brendan Allen fight?
Yeah, man, for sure. You know, um, me and Dustin came up a long time ago, man. We was fighting on the same local local fights around town. We both fought on the same card as amateurs. And then you got the guys like Brennan Allen and some of the other guys that are, you know, doing big things from Louisiana. So yeah, anytime we can rally behind each other, man, it's always cool. And yeah, man, I love Louisiana and I love fighting for everybody out here.
Hey, your state loves you too. And speaking of your state, Dustin Poirier, he hinted at a retirement fight this summer in Louisiana. How badly would you want to fight on that card? Or would you like to attend as a fan?
No, I want to fight for sure. That's like a dream of mine. Like I said before to somebody else, I think to me, that's the same as the New Orleans Saints playing the Super Bowl in New Orleans. I get to fight in New Orleans in front of my friends, my family, a lot of people that may never be able to travel, outside the state of Louisiana to actually watch me fight in the UFC. So now, this could be a time where, I could be fighting in front of all my friends and family, and everybody will be able to attend.
Well, I hope the UFC makes it happen. And honestly, I'm confident they do because it's for Dustin. So I think they get all of you guys out there. Maybe even Matt Schnell is coming back for another fight. So hopefully he can come back and fight in his home state as well.
Yeah, I can count about five of us that I think that should be very deserving and should definitely be on that card. So you never know, man. I got to take care of business on March 15th first, but after that, we'll see what happens.
That's right. And you're a really inspiring story. You lost a lot in the UFC before getting cut, and then you worked your way back up to win the Ultimate Fighter, and you got your first official UFC victory last July, I believe. Right. And a lot of that was fueled by the motivation of your coach, Michael Chandler, on the Ultimate Fighter. He takes on Paddy Pimblett at UFC 314. How do you think Coach Mike does there?
Yeah, thank you. Man, I think it's a good fight for Mike. That Paddy was actually a guy that I called out after winning the Ultimate Fighter. So I just think it's kind of funny how things circle around, and now Chandler's going to get that fight. But it's awesome, man. Hopefully, he's able to do well. I think he will. I think he's deserving of a big fight like that. And Paddy too, man. Hats off to Paddy. He's done his thing. Nobody can really deny him. I mean, it's not like he's fighting easy guys. He just took out Bobby Green, and how many minutes for the last fight. So yeah, but with that being said, man, I'm gonna take Coach Mike all day.
I love that, man. What's the biggest lesson you took out of your time with Coach Mike?
Um, honestly, I don't know, man. Just belief, I guess, belief. Because he's one of these guys that really impacts you in that type of way, make you kind of believe in yourself. If for some reason you don't, and I think that's been a problem, probably with me throughout my last couple stints in UFC, right? Because man, like besides like coming up with like Dustin Poirier and guys like that, that's like paving the way to be a fighter. But like I'm from a small town, man. Nobody in my town or family ever went on to do nothing, you know, as big as what I'm doing now. So, sometimes that might play a factor and you're like, man, well, you know, nobody's been able to do it. Why am I be able to do it? Or am I good enough to fight guys at this level? So, and I think with him, he's a guy that really will help you out and make you believe in yourself.
100%, man. You could see that happening as like even a lot of you guys were the Ultimate Fighter UFC vets, and a lot of you guys came back on top, and that was because Coach Mike helped fuel that, but you guys did the work.
Yeah, thanks.
So
So yeah.
yeah. So now I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. I don't ask many fight
Mhm.
questions, so I'm gonna shift to something called anything but MMA. So before
All right.
pursuing MMA, you worked as an alarm technician. Could you tell me more about your time in that job and what exactly did you do?
Yeah. So, I had my stepdad was actually a security guard manager at a company, um, close by, and they got me on as a security guard. But that wasn't really for me. And my mom actually worked there as well, like answering service, and they needed a helper for, to do alarm system. I guess you can call it an attic rat, somebody to get up in the attics and pull wire, and I went in and they hired me and I become a helper. And then, I was 18 years old. I had just turned 18 when I started that job. And I literally did that all the way to 27 years old whenever I went my second stint back to the UFC. But yeah, I was, man, I was in attics every day. Sometimes in the summer, attics can get to 120 degrees, maybe hotter. And I would pull wire and install security alarms, burglar alarms, fire alarms, and security cameras.
You must have worked really hard to get your dream come true. Now, speaking of that, your time in this job, right? Are there any like interesting or weird or even suspicious places where you installed alarms? Like, did you install alarms at certain places where you thought like where weird things happened or crazy things?
Uh, yeah, man, I've had some crazy things. But one of the weirdest places that I've ever, and it wasn't even really alarm. I think we did some cameras and like some intercom system, and it was at like the local morgue, right, or the local coroner's office. And man, it probably took me an hour just to be able to go in that place because man, I don't like stuff like that. And just once you got in there, man, I just felt really weird. because like that there's dead bodies in there and stuff like that. And I don't really like that type of stuff, and then people would pull up to take them to like the funeral homes, man, and it's just like I couldn't get out of that place fast enough. So that was a rough one. And then I had another place, it was actually like right down the road from where I live now, or right down the road from my gym in Louisiana. And the pretty sure the place was haunted. So some crazy things happened.
That's insane, man. I try to ask fighters about their jobs before fighting or even during their time as fighters because it's so interesting and it's a lot of people gotta recognize and appreciate the fighter's journey. I mean, you guys worked hard. This is a sport where there's only money at the top, and it's really it's respectable how you work so hard to get there. And sometimes you got to do odd jobs just to have the time to train on the side.
Yeah, for sure, man. And like, I woke up every single morning thinking, man, when am I going to be good enough to not have to do this job? So yeah, I've been blessed to go on and do different things in my life, but that was always a job that I'm not gonna lie, I probably enjoyed work. It wasn't bad to me, I was able to provide for my family and make decent money doing it. So it's a job that I don't regret.
Yeah, much respect, man. At the end of the day, it's all about looking after ourselves and our family. Like, what do we need besides family?
Yeah, for sure, man. That's all I need.
Exactly, man. Now, special stories you just shared. I'm going to jump into some rapid fire questions, all right?
All right.
If you could pick one lightweight to back you up in a street fight, who would it be?
Whew, man, let's go with Dustin.
Louisiana Strong. And one more question for me. If you could pick one lightweight to fight, one to train with, and one to be friends with, who would it be? Now, I'm going to give you these three names: Dustin
Okay.
Poirier, Michael Chandler, and Conor McGregor.
Ooh, I'm definitely fighting Conor McGregor. Um, and let's train with Dustin. And what was the third option?
Be
To
friends
be
with
friends.
the other. Oh,
Uh,
yeah, Michael
uh,
Chandler.
yep, I'll be. Let's train with Chandler. Be friends with Dustin.
I like that. So you're honoring your Louisiana roots, sticking with your coach. It's pretty sick, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now, Kurt, I can't wait to watch you fight at the UFC Apex March 15th in front of your whole family. Really appreciate you making the time. You got one last message for the fans?
Yeah, man. Just stay tuned. Follow us next week, UFC Vegas, and I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do what I do every time I step to the cage. I'm trying to put on a show and make all my friends and family happy.